Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man, y'all get it. My QB got swag, my wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown. Let's go.
Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and welcome to another Philly Shakedown podcast where the Eagles finally did it. They did it. They completed an epic collapse of historical proportions. Joey Shakes, what is happening, my man?
I think the one thing we really need to think about, I think the one thing that upsets me most, and it's not really the loss because, the last 6 weeks have been a dumpster fire at this point. I think the thing that upsets me the most is, this is what you have to give to the veterans on this team that has to end this way, whether it's Kelsey leaving, Kelsey and Fletcher Cox and some of these other guys, to end this way and to be as dysfunctional and, not changing much of anything from the last 6 weeks and figuring with the playoff game that there would be a little bit of opportunity and maybe some change would happen, maybe not totally a shocker that they were going to change completely, but, it really from the start of this game, I think from the first couple series on offense, I think it really showed where they were at, and things were not changing at that point.
Yeah. No, I hear you. GW Gearhead, thank you for Super Chat. Fire sale, everything must go. Howie, Nick, Brian Johnson, Patricia, Desai, everyone go. Bye-bye. Bring in a coach with balls. Yeah, I totally agree. It's crazy because, we talked about no A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith wasn't 100% healthy. Dislocated finger with Jalen Hurts. Possibly not great weather. And all these elements are in front of you, and they come out and they run the ball twice early, have huge success, and then they end up, I think, with 4 carries for DeAndre Swift in the first half. They just don't run the ball. They just refuse to run the ball. It's like they care more about doing it their way than what makes you win,
Yeah, I mean, the 2 3rd and 2s were really where, the first 3rd and 2, I mean, you had 2 good runs by DeAndre. This is like a replay I've seen every year. 2 good runs or whatever from DeAndre Swift. And then you take him out and put Gainwell in. And then Hurts audibles the play, and then he throws it deep. I don't know why they like throwing deep on 3rd and 2. I don't get it.
And the weird thing is when they threw it deep that second time, I believe the second time, there are 2 guys that are sitting right next to each other. The routes landed at the same spot on the field. It made no sense.
And sorry, go ahead.
No. 500, Joey, did you see Goddard say bitch to Jalen on the sideline? Yeah, I saw it. I don't know what they were talking about or what it's in reference to, though. That's that's the thing. It's really bad coaching. It's like all year long, no matter who you're playing, what the scheme was, they were going to have the same game plan every week. Every week. I really, and I know people will say, well, Jalen Hurts didn't read the defense good, and Jalen did this wrong, and this guy did this wrong. And those are all true statements. But how do you figure out if it's because of the coaching or not? I mean, the coaching, in my opinion, has been so abysmal and so bad that I don't even know how you sort this stuff out, because it's just unbelievable. It's really unbelievable.
Really, before the game started, there was a report from Jay Glazer that came out that there was inside information. This is from Jay Glazer that said that the Eagles were not going to fire Nick Sirianni, regardless if they lost this game. Now, from looking at how Jeffrey Lurie looked in the press box at the end of this game, Howie Roseman looked pretty upset himself. I think there's been pushback. I feel like even after like Tampa Bay scored in the second half, I forgot which touchdown it was when Sirianni just like didn't really have any type of reaction. It almost looks like he's going to get fired. It almost looks like that he's lost the locker room and just looks like he's emotionless, like he knows what's going to happen at this point. I think there's been pushback towards Howie. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting because Howie didn't look too happy either.
I think he's getting fired.
Yeah.
Bubba, listening to the Evan Moron, Nick, they say, how do you think you handle the blitz? Dick goes on to say, we were shorthanded. We didn't have A.J. Brown or Sidney Brown. He's a moron. He's a moron. Listen, I think a report like that comes out right before the game to try to calm the coach down and try to relax so that they could go out and play. If you look at Jeffrey Lurie, he looked disgusted. And I don't know how a coach like Nick Sirianni comes back from a thing like this. Like, how do you come back from this? I don't know.
I don't think you can, to be honest with you. I don't think the players are going to trust him enough to. Too much damage has been done. I don't care if AJ Brown wasn't, but we've had AJ Brown and we've looked almost the exact same as we did.
This wasn't the Cowboys game yesterday where they expect to win, come out and you have a bad game or whatever. This was like 5 and 6 weeks of the same shit.
True.
You know? I mean, dude, how many missed tackles did they have for this game?
Bradbury is the fucking worst. That man has got to go. Slay is carted off the field. Like it's try to figure it out because we need new corners next year.
I don't even know why those starters were in. Like Goddard got hurt at the end of the game. Like, why are they playing? Josh Siegel, thank you for Super Chat. At least we lasted longer than Dallas. Laugh out loud. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's hard to even be angry because you've been so angry for the last however many weeks. D1922, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, what's up, Philly Joey? We lost our way. Hopefully we'll get it back next year. Like your guys' channel. Go Birds forever, baby. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna pull up.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pull up the stats for this game because there was one guy that came to play today. And his name was Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith was absolutely
He was a dog.
Great.
He was a dog.
You know, I mean, geez, if we need a bunch more Devontae Smiths out there. He did what he had to do. He stepped up, and DeAndre Swift 8 catches, 148 yards. I mean, dude, that's a hell of a game. DeAndre Swift, 10 carries, 34 yards. I mean, that's horrible.
They still haven't learned, dude. I mean, what a waste of a year. I mean, what a waste of a year with DeAndre Swift.
He's gone. He's not going to come back.
Right.
Yeah, David Super Chat goes, made me sad seeing Kelsey in tears. Thank you, Kelsey. Yeah, it looked like Kelsey might be the last shindig for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping he wants to step away and get time to think about it, but it could very well be his last game. And I hate to say or hate to think that he went out with this the way he did with this year. You know?
God awful. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Traymon Denver Super Chat. What's crazy is that we had a chance to win this game. So much talent to be a first round exit is painful. It's horrible. It just I can't. I mean, this offense could not score more than 9 points. They didn't score in the second half at all.
No, and the defense made crucial stops. I mean, look, I know that
finally made some stops.
Tampa Bay got lucky with obviously, they dropped some balls like that were wide open. God. I get it, and there was a few throws where, Baker Mayfield threw some, overthrew some balls here and there. But I mean, the defense made a couple of good stops in that second half. Then they'd punt to our 10, and we just couldn't get out of our own way. I mean, it's. Like I said, you're using more of Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, it's empty back. I mean, it's an empty back. I mean, it's crazy. Like there's no creativity. Like I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say, dude. I really don't.
No, to me, it's like this was just the icing on the cake. I mean, when we lost that Arizona game, I felt like that season collapsed then. So it's like, this has been like a 3-4 week slow death. It's finally over, and I'm just more interested, to be honest with you, in knowing what the hell happened behind the scenes this season, and how this team can collapse the way they did. I want to know. I do. Brody Davis Super Chat goes, have to fire Nick. Great pool of coaches right now. I agree. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy stuff. Chris Dog Davis Super Chat goes, look at Lori's face. You could tell he's ready to fire someone. Yeah, he looked really pissed off, dude.
Take control of your fucking franchise, dude, because and here's another thing. It's like, and then we see before like the game start, like even another interview for Brian Johnson for the Panthers. I'm telling you, everybody in the league knows how the Eagles are running things. It's going to be a repeat of last year. Steichen's going to go somewhere. Steichen's going to be successful. Brian Johnson might go somewhere, or he might not. He might not. But if he does, because I don't think we've got a full Brian Johnson type offense this year. I don't think we have. I think it's been under Nick's game plan, and he's going to be the scapegoat and be the blame. But
we have the fact that the teams want to interview him tells me that they know it was Nick Sirianni's offense and not his.
Right.
Kazi Davis Super Chat goes, work is not going to be fun. Not going to be fun, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, we knew this was coming. That's why we're all black tonight. I was dressed for a funeral. Pierre Moreno, Davis Super Chat, man. Appreciate it. Slay soft ass tried to make a tackle first time in his life and got hurt. Bradbury's trash. Debo was right. I don't understand why some fans are blaming Hurts. Well, because I mean, Hurts is not playing great. There were plays that like taking that safety was unacceptable. You can't do that there. So I mean, he wasn't at the top of his game. But the problem is I just don't know. I just don't know if it's okay. Is this because of him? Is he regressive, or is it because the coaching is so bad that it's caused a lot of issues?
It's got to be both, dude. Because
probably
I'm sorry, because like it's reminding me of when Carson Wentz got paid and how they changed the way he played, and obviously with Hurts having this knee injury early in the season, getting hit so many times, and they kind of like forced him in the pocket. And he actually was playing good throughout the gauntlet. There was a lot of good things to take out of it, but he's missing wide open guys. The coaching staff is making it like to a point where some of these handoffs are taking, like, things are taking way too long to develop. The passing routes are if there's an all-out blitz by Todd Bowles on third down every time, like there's nothing middle of the field wide open. And
did you notice that? I mean, we're talking what, 3 straight weeks you played teams that blitzed you, and they literally made no adjustments. They made no adjustments for the blitz at all. Nothing. You know, and on that safety, I got to say this. Kenneth Gainwell was a moron. He goes and he decides to run 6 yards back and gets tackled. Why is he even in the game? He set that safety up for Hurts. Michael Davis Super Chat goes, looking at our roster, who's available to replace Nick? We need to move quickly. Jim Harbaugh would be perfect. I would love Jim Harbaugh. But the truth is are the Eagles going to hire a coach like Jim Harbaugh and let him have control? I don't see it happening. I think they're going to look for a first-time coach. So maybe like the offensive coordinator at Houston or somebody like that. But I can't see them going after Harbaugh.
It depends if the Eagles change their philosophy on their coach hirings. They can't just hire a guy because another guy knows him, or another guy he's good, like just hire him. He'll do a good job for you. Like Howie has to let go of a little bit of control. He has no choice, because if he does this thing where he hires an assistant off another team that we have no idea who it is, that's just going to run whatever they're going to run. I mean, you're going to need a head coach that either knows how to run an offense, that play calls, or that's going to call the defense, whatever, and then make some other hirings. But it's got to happen. I don't see this guy surviving. I can't see Nick being here next year. Too much damage has been done.
I can't either. I don't want him. I think it'll be bad. Green Bay's a fight. They were Super Chat goes, hey, fellas, I just want to say thank you for putting up with me all season. Go Birds. Love you guys. On to say, oh, you were great. Are you kidding? You're a joy to have in our chat.
We're all in this. Man. We're all in this together, dude.
We're all in it together. Pierre, thank you for super chat, man. Appreciate it. AJ at the fights is wrong. What do you mean, AJ at the fights? What are they talking about?
He was at a like the day after he was was not gonna play, or whatever the reports came out. He was at a UFC fight, or he was somewhere, and like they all interviewed him, and I don't know what happened. There was like an interview. He was at they found him. You could say, I guess.
You know? Man, Craig Joseph, David Super Chat goes, I will not be surprised if no coaching changes happen. What do we do if we don't fire Nick? There are so many unknowns going in season. It's really going to depend, like, what comes out. Like, I think that's a big part of it, because I'm willing to bet guys like Jeff McClain and guys like that. I'm willing to bet they have their stories about what happened behind the scenes, and they're just waiting to put that out. And we got to figure out and sort out what went wrong, what happened. But I will say this. If you do keep Nick Sirianni, I don't think you could keep Brian Johnson or Patricia. Like, I think you have to go get two veteran coordinators.
Yeah.
You know? But
did you see the leaks this morning? Did you see the leaks this morning? I think McClain or a couple people put out leaks this morning that Jalen Hurts has been trying to condone the coaches to change the offense this year multiple times, and the coaches haven't budged, and they take most into throwing these vertical routes, and Hurts has been trying to change it all year, and they have not budged. And I could totally believe that.
Well, yeah, and that makes sense. That goes on what I'm saying about the coach, the players going to the coaches and the coaches not listening to them. That's exactly what I'm saying I think happened. That's why you get a guy like A.J. Brown going, I'm not going to talk. Why am I going to talk? The coaches don't even listen to me anyways. What's the point? That's what he was doing. That's exactly what he was doing. T.W. David Super Chat goes, Italians can't coach anything but soccer games. Hey, that ain't true. One of the greatest coaches was Italian. They named a trophy after him called the Lombardi. Thank you very much. So take that. CW Gearhead David Super Chat goes, I wanted to jump through my phone and knock some sense into Cam Jurgens. He played horrible. He needs to work. He stunk. He stunk today. He's going for elbow blocks. Like that's going to do a lot, you know? It's going to be an interesting off season. Cryptic David Super Chat goes, AJ was seen at a boxing match tonight. Insane. Tonight? Now if it was tonight, that's bad. That's bad. That means he knew they were going to lose, so why watch it? That's what I think.
It's not a good sign.
No, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is about that, you know. Trick Run David Super Chat goes, Flyers won again. We making a run. Okay. It's going to get ugly. Before it gets better, it's going to get ugly. Before, like, usually you get the downtime right after the season ends to free agency, you know. I don't believe there's going to be much.
It might not get ugly. It might be clear cut. It might be like obvious. Ugly. It might not be. It's not going to be surprise. It might not be surprising. It might.
I think it's going to get ugly. I think it's going to. And when I say ugly, I mean there's going to be a lot of moves, a lot of things, a lot of changes, a lot of things going on. Grant, thank you for super chat. He goes, NFL offenses are built by being under center, using motion, run the ball, play action. This shotgun scheme is trashy. Happy it will be gone. Oh man, I can't wait.
You're running an empty set almost all the time. You're like no motion, no like. You're not trying to nothing.
No, nothing. They have no hot routes. They do nothing to adjust to the blitz at all. And this is for 3 weeks. No answers. And I don't understand. These guys are blitzing. All you have to do, you could literally get a running back and have him, go out and just turn around, and you could throw a screen pass to him, and you get 20 yards because everybody's coming. Especially with these zero blitzes that they do, especially top Bowles. I mean, he blitzed everybody, and they had no answer for it. They're running 12 yards, 15, 20 yards downfield. It don't work. Fabio, David Super Chat, is the coach telling Jalen what to do? I think it is. I think the coach is the problem. And I think you got two choices. Either you fire him or you say you can be the head coach, but we're stripping you of all offensive core, all play calling, all of it. It's gone. Uriel, David Super Chat. Sirianni needs to be gone by Friday. I'm done with him. We need more quickly to get ahead of other weak teams. I love Bobby Slowick. He's done an amazing job with the Texans. Yeah, he has. Ben Johnson is my second option. I like both those guys. Thank you for the Super Chat. Bubba says, if you hire Jim, he can fix the defense with this draft. He recruited all the players coming into the NFL for the next 3 years. Let Pete Carroll did. I agree. I would love Harbaugh. That would probably, unless Tomlin got fired, that would be my number one choice if I had to choose. Would be Jim Harbaugh. Michael Davis Super Chat goes, if not Harbaugh, we definitely need an XOs type of guy. Somebody like Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy, or the offensive coordinator from Houston. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we'll see. You got an early process now.
Lamont Honorio, I don't know if I said that wrong. If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. He says, you think Jim H would coach for us? I don't know. See, I think that where you're going to run into problems with these coaches, like Harbaugh, is that they're going to want control. They're going to want some. Like Harbaugh, Bubba just talked about him knowing the players coming out of college. Well, is Howie Roseman going to give him that kind of control to pick players to draft? I don't know that he is. I think that's going to be the problem with established coaches like that, you know? Richie MC, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, please tell me I'm crazy, but right now the amount of salary cap devoted to the quarterbacks, the Commanders have the best quarterback situation in the NFC least. But they don't really. I don't know if they really have a quarterback.
They don't have anything proven though. We don't know if they have a. I mean, Sam Howell's had like a good first half and a really bad second half, and because of the moves they've made and took in more, more good players off that team. I mean, I don't think I don't know. That's really up in the air for them. There's nothing promising right now.
Yeah. CW Gearhead, David Super goes, Gainwell was out there trying to look like the old school shady McCoy. I realized there was nowhere that he'll Brian Westbrook or Shea right now. Yeah, that was just why he went backwards 6 yards was like the worst thing ever. Kev, David Super Chat, man. He goes, we never had a chance to win unless Hurts was going to audible out of every play they called. We all know exactly what happened. Sirianni stinks as a play caller. How do we not run it back with the same coordinators? How do we? I don't know. I don't know.
How they let? But why did they let this happen? Like if Nick was pushing back, why did they let this happen? Like they're 10-1, you're 2 games up in the conference. How did they let this happen? You choked away the first seed, you choked away the second seed, you choked away the division. And you still had a playoff game and some type of motivation, and you still didn't change anything. So who's to blame here? It's got to be Nick. I mean, it's got to be, dude. Like if Jeffrey Lurie's that pissed off in the press box, and we heard the rumors the last few days that he's taking more consideration, he's starting to take over a little bit when it comes to football operations, getting more involved this past week. So I this could be a Nick pushback type thing, and the Eagles had a playoff game and they couldn't fire him. I
think the fact that he's showing up at practice is telling me that he wants to go figure out what the hell's going on wrong there, and that he's going. Anton David Super Chat goes, we will keep Nick and he'll hire Frank Reich as offensive coordinator. Well, I like Frank Reich, but I just don't want to look at Nick's face again. Like I'm starting to hate the face, you know. Like now I'm starting to see him like as a punk. You know,
but Nick's had no energy the last 6 weeks. I mean, he's looked dead in the water the last 6 weeks. Like he showed barely any emotion in this game. I think he yelled at a ref, and that was like it today. I don't know even what he did. He's not going to the sideline. He's not going to the players sitting on the bench. I mean, there's no like interaction. So are the players are they're against him, or are they just not talking to him? I don't know.
I don't think the players are with him. I don't think so. I don't think if the stuff about Hurts trying to change offense is true, then how can he be for Nick? Because it's his offense, you know. Mike Legend, man, he says keep Smith and trade everyone else. Devontae Smith showed up, man.
Oh yeah,
That boy
100%.
showed up and played. I love that guy. My favorite player. He proved that he's the number one receiver. Matthew, thank you for Super Chat. Goes Bill fans for a month. Yeah, you know what? I would like, now that the Eagles are out of it, I want to see the Bills. I'd like to see the Bills win or Detroit win. You know, a team like that hasn't won. That would be nice.
I would say Detroit. I really want to see Detroit take it all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be, and just so you guys know, I will be streaming the other playoff games. That's not going to stop. So, Cryptic, thank you for Super Chat. Can't blame this on Jalen. Dude had 2 seconds to throw. It's hard for me to, and I'm not saying he doesn't have flaws, and he didn't take step back in some regards, but I just wonder how much of it is due to the bad coaching. Because I say that because look at the amount of players, especially like the defensive side ball, that can't block. They can't block. They can't do anything. It's like, how do these guys all of a sudden they can't do anything? Something happened, dude. Something happened.
Yeah, and it happened.
David, thank you for your super chat. He goes, Eagles, Cowboys, biggest diva teams in the NFL. Maybe. Maybe. Dallas, definitely. Mario still there with super chat. Goes, somebody getting fired by 12 p.m. tomorrow. I'll be shocked if Sirianni makes this, dude. I'm serious. I don't care what the report said. I just can't see how it works. Like, how can you bring him back? How he's going to lose a locker room next year? Anything goes wrong next year, he's going to lose a locker room. I'm done. David Super Chat goes, Howie Roseman isn't safe. All I'm saying, I think Howie's safe.
He's fine.
I think Howie's safe because Jeffrey Lurie will never get rid of him. But they could use. It would be nice if they took some of his power. I'm not saying he can't be the GM. He can't have a say. He can't do contracts. He can't do trades. He can't do. But, man, he's got to give up some control. He's just got to. Joey Cabanelli, thank you so much for Super Chat. He goes, I can't point blame at any individual player. Everyone played like they didn't care, and they didn't care because of the coaches were awful. Yeah, that's exactly right. We got to get new coaches. You got to get these guys all on the right page. And then you see what you got with these guys and these players. You know, because I don't know what else to do.
The players could only... Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The players could only do so much. Like I feel bad for the players because they try to hype themselves up all week. They try to like make nothing into something. And once they get into a game, and like you said, the last shakedown we had, we talked about we want to see how the Eagles answer, like to maybe the defense score, maybe Tampa's offense scores a touchdown. How is the offense going to answer back? How and I feel like they didn't. I mean, I can't. The basic play design it's affecting the players when it looks the same every single week.
Every single week,
and it's getting worse and worse. So the players that were all excited all week, as soon as the bad play calling happens, and they couldn't even score. I mean, they couldn't even score a touchdown, barely. I mean, they couldn't do anything. So.
Slick, they were Super Chat goes, I know it's early, but I can't wait for free agency. A lot of good players for the defensive line, possibly linebacker. We definitely need draft cornerbacks in the draft. I can't see Bradbury Slay here next year. It's going to be an interesting free agency and draft. It is. But before we can get there, we got to sort all this stuff out. And this stuff's going to, I think, be interesting and crazy. Eagles fan, they were Super Chat. He goes, we need to try to keep our young stars, get rid of guys like Bradbury, and completely change the coaching staff. I agree. You guys need to hire Dan Quinn. I don't think they would hire a defensive coordinator. I honestly don't. And I think they need a good head coach for you got a lot of money invested in Jalen Hurts. You've got to get somebody that can get him back on
push
track,
him and put him in the right direction. I agree. What is that, dude? It happened again. What happened? You did that, didn't you?
I did what?
You fucking did that. Did you see that? Bullshit, dude. What are you doing behind?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. I see that little I see the thumbs up shit that comes in a bubble above your head. Like what
I
is
didn't
it?
put no thumb up in my bubble, my head.
Bro, you did. You
I
did. You gotta go
didn't.
back.
I swear.
All right.
Let me go back. I don't see any bubble.
Chat.
There's
Did you
no
guys see that? Because I saw that.
I don't see any bubble.
It's there.
Oh, look. Yeah, I see it now. Wait a second. Where you going? That's not me. Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Dude, I didn't do that. I swear to God.
That happened. Remember,
I
it
had
happened
no
a long
idea
time
what
ago,
that
and I
is.
told you it happened. You didn't believe me. Like it happened again.
No, I didn't know do that. How the hell would I? Why would I do that anyways? I don't even know what that is. That's wild. Let's see here. Where was I? No, okay. Eagles 567 says we need to try to keep our young stars. Get rid of guys like Bradbury. Oh, I think I read that. Yeah, agree. We agree with you. Jason, thank you for super chat. Goes, why did we get Swift? We did not use him. I don't know. Let me tell you, if Gainwell doesn't get hurt in that second game versus Minnesota, Swift would have sat on the bench all year. We would never have known what we got in him.
No.
I truly, truly believe that.
That's true.
Cat David Super Chat goes, it's too late. It was too late to fire coaches? When was that? You mean like late in the year?
It's never too late to fire a coach. Never too late.
Matthew David Super Chat goes, is trading AJ possible?
Oh,
I mean, I guess anything's possible. Why would you trade AJ? Because of the fight thing? I'm not trading AJ.
Oh, what? No.
I think it's all part of why you need coaches. You need real coaches, man. Alex Davis Super Chat goes, we them boys, baby. We lost by 16 and you all by 23.
That's loser mentality.
Is that really? Are you really coming with that?
That's a loser mentality.
I mean, really, dude, you allowed 48 points in the third quarter. The Green Bay Packers took all their starters out of the game, and you got garbage points. If they keep their players in the game, they're going to score 60-something points on you. You have no right to talk. Cryptic David Super Chat goes, our right guard looks back at Jalen's snap cue. Yeah, he always does that. Do you ever notice that Cam Jurgens always looks back at Jalen? And it's like, the snap is getting ready to come.
Oh, boy.
Radiation Bus David Super Chat goes, it's not the ending we wanted, but I enjoyed the streams. Joey 500. Thanks for the Eagles content. Thanks, Kelsey Graham and Cox, for 2017. Peace. Thank you, man. Hey, listen, we ain't going nowhere, so we hope you stay put. Uriel Davis Super Chat goes, looking at Lurie's face at the end of the game, I'd be shocked if Sirianni stays. Once a player loses respect for his head coach, it's over. The bridge is burned. I'll be more pissed if he stays than this Bucs L. I agree. I can't imagine he stays. I just can't imagine it. I'm done. David Super Chat goes, this is why signing off the bones players don't work. Yeah. Pierre David Super Chat goes, Nick needs to go. Can't hang on to talent. Hire Bill and let's right the ship. Now, Bill Belichick has got an interview I believe he's got an interview coming with Atlanta.
Yeah, true.
He may go to Atlanta. Trey Diesel David Super Chat goes, hey, guys, I called it week 13. It's rebuild time, guys. Coaches ain't going to come in here to cater to Hurts' inadequate quarterback play. I think if you got the right head coach, I think he could help make Hurts what he was 2 years ago. A. Sampson, David Super Chat goes, Belichick come in here and reunited with Patricia. I want Patricia gone. No, I don't even want Belichick. Here's why I don't want Belichick. You get Belichick, you're essentially going to get him for what, 2 years? He's 72 years old.
Fucking old.
You need a quarter. I want a coach that can last 5, 8, 9 years. Kev David Super Chat goes, how he needs to go coach hunting like he goes player hunting. We can all see the coaching schemes are trash. I think the coaches had more of a Super Bowl hangover than players. Play calling says it all. Agreed. J-Man, David Super Chat, man. CW Gearhead, David Super Chat. My 5-year-old nephew was asking where its crowns were when I'm guessing Nick Sirianni ate them while he was designing his playbook this year. That's exactly what happened. Philly D says love is in the air. Chris B, David Super Chat, he goes, thoughts on Vrabel, Fred Coach? I like Vrabel, but you have to get a very, very good, very solid offensive coordinator because he's a defensive-minded coach. Mr. Rudy Poo, thank you for Super Chat, goes, Vrabel, Belichick, Carroll, Monken, Ben Johnson, Bobby Swolwick. The cup boards are not bare on a head coach. Yeah, there's a lot of potential. Lot of potential head coaches out there for sure. Balgeology says a win is a win, right? What a crock of shit. 10-1 were complete shit all year. Really, I mean, you think at the time that you're going, oh my God, this team, they constantly go out there and they're resilient and they come back and it's championship mentality. And it's all bullshit.
How long does that last? I mean, it's not going to last. You can't have second half comebacks the whole entire year. I mean, we said to ourselves, like, when are they going to have a complete game? That's what got us worried all year was like,
Right.
we're winning and we're having 5 heart attacks in one night, over this team. And we're saying to ourselves, can they get that extra mile and have those good first halves so they could put a lot of points up? But we've seen good things from Jalen Hurts, but it has drastically gotten worse and worse. And I think between it's been coaches versus the players. The players have been getting no attention to get this offense back on track, this whole roster back on track. And the biggest change they made, which really made no difference, was literally taking Sean Desai and putting him in the booth. I mean, not even firing him, just putting him in the booth to help out. Because you know what? It's not Desai's playbook. It's Sirianni's defense that he wanted to use from last year. That's what he wanted. But we saw what Gannon did to us. We saw how aggressive he was. So the control, we know where the control lies. It's either from Howie to Nick, or it's all Nick himself and what he wants. And they have to cut the cancer out now. I think it's time.
I agree. David, Jets, David Super Chat goes, my Jets were first to expose the fraud Eagles. Oh, God, the Jets game, there was no exposing that game. That was a flat-out Eagles mistake to lose that game. Kev, David Super Chat, at 10-1, not saying they couldn't have done it, but that late in the season, who do they replace them, and does that set your team back or catapult them forward? I guess it depends. I don't think you could replace the coaches you couldn't replace the head coach, I don't think, at 10-1. But, if you look at Buffalo replaced the offensive coordinator and they went on a streak. We replaced the defensive coordinator and we collapsed. Now, they were in a lot worse situation. I think when the players went to the coaches and they said, no, we're not going to do anything, then I think the head coaching move was to fire Desai. I think when that happened, the players checked out. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the issue that we're going to find out in upcoming weeks is going to be that the coaches didn't listen to the players. The players kind of checked out, and that really caused a rift with the players and the coaches. Reverend Bebop, thank you for Super Chat. Frank Reich, head coach. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator. Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator. I don't want Kellen Moore.
No.
I don't want Kellen Moore. I think if you have Frank Reich, I don't think you need Kellen Moore. It's just crazy. It's like I literally feel like this has been like the slowest death ever.
It's been going on 6 weeks.
I mean, I almost feel like you look at Dallas's collapse. It was all in one game at one time. Rip the Band-Aid off. For us, it's been like 1,000 paper cuts. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. and it's just been brutal watching it every week. We got 1,359 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. If you're my side channel, click the link and go support my man Joey Shakes.
Shit.
We will be Shakedown podcast. We don't take our vacation till June, so we're rocking and rolling.
True.
Winning Reality, member for 11 months, said, sad to see things go down like this, but glad it's finally over. Time to overhaul the coaching staff. Much love, Eagles Nation. We will rebound. It doesn't take long to get the players, to get everybody back on board. You get a good coach, you get some good things. Things can change quick. Nitro Freak, thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, this team needs a new direction, whatever that means. It does. It needs a new direction. I think, trying to have certain schemes and be a certain scheme and having your GM and analytics department control that has to stop.
I don't think even when you talk about the roster and a big rebuild, I don't think like the offensive side of the ball is really not going to change. Besides, being less of running backs, really having a coach that's going to push Jalen Hurts and put this offense to the right direction. Yeah, defensively, that's where the Eagles will have to make some tough calls at cornerback. They have a lot of depth there. You have Isaiah Rodgers coming off the gambling thing, so we need to see what we have behind that. Sidney Brown unfortunately won't be back until mid-season, which really sucks. But obviously your linebacker spot's totally empty. You're gonna have nobody at that spot with Nakobe Dean been out the whole entire year and can't rely on that. And I think you have good players in the trenches, and Fletch might leave. BG said after the game that he wants to come back another year. He says, I want to come back as a farewell tour for one more year. And I don't know if it's really going to make a difference at this point. I think they just have to go younger, and they got a first rounder and 2 second rounds to do whatever they want with a good amount of cap space, and they could free up more cap space anyway. So, with the right coaching staff, good things can happen.
Good things can happen. Romeo Town, a member for 5 months. Thank you so much. It says, have you guys discussed Bieniemy as a head coach or offensive coordinator?
Would love it.
Well, I kind of want to see what goes on with Washington, but I think I would be open to giving him a head coaching job. I would, if I have to go with a first time coach, I would love to have him. I think he's a good mind. I think he can help Jalen Hurts a lot. So I like him. What do you say, Joe?
Who? Like who?
Eric Bieniemy.
No, I really like him. I mean, even with a better role, I think I would be intrigued to see what he would do with this offense.
Now, Washington's not making him the head coach. To me, that would be a no-brainer.
No. After 1 year at OC?
Oh, plus he was an OC at Kansas City, right, for several years. I always kind of thought he took that job to kind of be like Rivera's replacement eventually.
Well, they could block. I mean, they could block him from getting interviews anyway because it's only his first year. When he gets after his second year, coordinators after their second year can, they can talk to whoever they want. I think they'll block him. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, maybe. Kev says, and thank you for Super Chat. He goes, but we forget that one of the captains of the team didn't want Patricia as a coach. Yeah, that's true. And maybe that's really the start of it. Maybe in some ways, and I don't know, I'm just speculating. But maybe in some ways, maybe that was the first signal that they weren't going to listen to what the players had to say. They didn't hear what the players had to say. I don't know. Dre Driesel Davis Super J goes, CJ Gardner-Johnson, TJ Edwards, and Hargrave. They don't land a solid defensive corner. How can you be surprised about this defense? It's not even that. It's like there's one thing to say, okay, that your players aren't talented enough, they're not good enough to do something. That I get, right? I get that. And you're right. You don't have the linebackers, you don't have the safeties. That's true. But we're talking about not playing, not showing up, not even wanting to tackle. No effort, lifelessness, no fight.
The only fight we saw from this game tonight was when fucking Devontae Smith got that, when Devontae Smith had that big catch, okay, and he kind of fired up on the sideline. The second time is when Fletcher Cox was fighting. That was the only 2 times where
those were the only 2 times I've seen it in a month.
Yeah, I know.
In a month.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Yeah, we definitely lost some players defense, and I'm not saying we'd have the greatest defense, but man, these guys aren't even their head's not even in it. You can tell that these guys aren't right in the head by the way they tackle. They can't tackle. Tackling is an attitude, and they don't even try. They go high. Why are you tackling high? It doesn't make sense. You know, it was interesting because I was listening to the game in my ear, and they were talking about the Eagles, and the one guys was talking to Aikman and stuff, and he said, I don't know who it is that, you know, the guy they keep bringing in, and he said the Eagles showed up to Tampa lifeless. That's what he said. They showed up lifeless. So, like, what is going on that makes them that way? You know?
Yeah.
CW Gearhead Divers Super Chat. He goes, what's next? Sirianni going to try to be Dick Vermeil and say he's having open trials to save his career? I love B-Dog and Trent Colford, defensive coordinator. I would love them too. I don't know what Nick's are going to do. I think he's going to get fired. I think by what's today, Monday? I think he's going by Thursday. That's just my personal opinion. Eagles, David Super Chat goes, just wanted to say you are my two favorite YouTubers. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
We appreciate that. Trey Diesel, man, David Super Chat goes, make a move to sign Bobby Slowick to head coach or offensive coordinator. Now that's the offensive coordinator of the Texans, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he would be a great if you're going to have to go. If the Eagles are saying no, we're going to continue to do first-time head coaches. That's what we want to do. I think a guy like that would be perfect. You need somebody to help Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
The last Dragon, David Super Chat, he goes, do you think the money they gave Hurts played a role in the power struggle with Nick or controlling the offense flow temp? He is the face of franchise. That's a great question. You know, I personally don't think the money had anything to do with it. I don't. I think if anything, the arrogance of Nick Sirianni had something to do with it. Because if you look at the way A.J. Brown shut down, like, I'm not talking to anybody, I'm done. He was basically like saying, I tried to talk, nobody listened. So I think Jalen Hurts went to Sirianni and said the things that you said about, you know, changing offense. I think Jalen Hurts is talking not just for himself, but for the other players. You know, guys like A.J. Brown are talking to him and stuff. And I think they got shut down. I think there's a bit of an arrogance or a Nick Sirianni had to prove that his offense could work type thing. And I honestly, I think it's less Jalen Hurts and more Nick Sirianni. That's
when you get the hints of Jalen Hurts trying to like tell the coaching staff we need to do things this way, and the coaching staff is not going to budge. When you have A.J. Brown after the Giants game, before the Giants game that week, the last game of the regular season, where like he had multiple meetings with players during the week to tell everybody, look, we need to start believing in our coaching staff. I'm starting to feel for myself that the whole roster or most of the roster does not like the coaching staff at all and how they're being used. And I think they have tried to get answers, and the coaches have ignored everything that the players have wanted. And it's a cocky, conceited head coach that believes in his own ways and, you know, has the balls to say to us, 4 or 5 games in, you know, to our losses at the end of the year, and says, we've been running the same offense we've been running the last few years. Like bullshit, dude. No, like Shane Steichen was your he was your prodigy. Yeah. And you can't replace it. You don't even have the balls. You don't even have the balls to go back and look at film that, even if you want to take plays from what Steichen did, I mean, at least take plays from that playbook. It's like the same thing where, like, you know, when Nick Foles kind of struggled when he first started after the Rams game, and then they kind of like reset and said, okay, let's look at the tape when he was with Chip Kelly. Let's look at some of this old tape that made Nick Foles as good as he is in the league. And they have not done that at all.
I agree. Uriel Davis Super Chat, he goes, ideally for me, it would be Slowick, the head coach, play caller like Shanahan does in San Fran. Vrabel is defensive coordinator, and find a way to move on from Slade Bradbury contracts. Yeah, I like that combination. I definitely do. Hades Davis Super Chat, he goes, take on Hurts reading defenses, making progressions, making certain throws other than the outside. I do agree this is a coaching scheme problem. the thing is that I do think there are problems with the way Hurts reads the defenses. I do think he misses players. I do think there are things there. But I just wonder, like, is he not being coached up week to week? Are they not looking at it, fixing things? I mean, how many times do we see Hurts bail to the right all year? And they just never fix it. Like, they never even addressed it. Like, I just wonder if a lot of the old bad habits, like the hitting going to the right when it's instead of standing in there, I just wonder if a lot of that stuff had to do with the lack of support from the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And until we get new coaches in here and figure out what's going on, we're not going to know. We're not going to know, is that something Hurts can't fix or not. We got to see.
How many times did we see, even last year, how many times did we see, like, when Jalen Hurts had a bad series that he would go to the sideline, Nick would, like, say something or, like, kind of get, be that, that tough coach on him. This year, it seems like they're, like not even paying attention to each other when bad things happen. It's like line up and play.
Talking. He's always sitting on the bench, not just sitting by himself. Always sitting by himself. Omar, thank you for super chat. He goes, firing Nick would be an emotional move. We regret it. Can't fire a coach with a resume like Nick. Give Nick one more year with a new coordinator. Blame Howie. He fired Sean and didn't invest in a linebacker. He never invested in a linebacker. Well, listen, I understand you think it's an emotional move. If part of it is, but I mean, when you lose a locker room, I don't know how you get it back to the levels that I think he did. And don't forget, they had Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, then went to two more years in a row he was in the playoffs, and they still fired him. So I do think there's a precedent that you can fire him if you think that he lost the team. I think he lost the team, man. I do.
Yeah, I don't think there's a timetable on this. I don't think it's like, oh, let's give Sirianni another year. I think he's already shown, like, that, not even he doesn't even hold himself accountable. He makes himself look stupid every week with the press conferences. He has no humility. He has no, he's not selfless. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. He looks like a coach that's getting fired right now. I mean, from what I heard from a lot of people on Twitter, I mean, from just people reading what he said tonight, he looks like he was everyone's saying he looks so out of it, like maybe he already was told he was fired at this point. I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. CW Garrett, every super chat. Thoughts on Josh McCown or folks as Jalen's next quarterback? I don't know enough about him as a quarterback coach. I know he's very smart. He's been around the league. He's seen a lot, so he probably could help. I don't know enough about him as specifically as a quarterback coach to give you that information. Kev, David Super Chat. These coaches aren't even listening to the players. That's how I know Eagles are getting in the way. Seeing the coach-player interaction on the sideline confirms it. Yeah, I agree. We agree. 100%. Well, listen, I mean, it's going to be a crazy year. Kirk Johns, thank you for Super Chat. Hurts' inability to read open guys isn't coaching. But here's the thing. Why is that occurring? Why isn't it getting fixed? Is it because Jalen Hurts is just not getting it? Or is it because he's not being coached to fix and see those things? Every week they have a game, they go back and they watch the tape and they look at the things that they did wrong, and they're supposed to work on it and fix it. But every week they don't fix anything. And it's not just Jalen Hurts. Every week the defense comes out and does the same thing. Every week the offense comes and does the same thing. So there's never changes with anybody. My thing is this. It could be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts could be a problem. But until we kind of sort out where the main problems are coming from, I don't know how much we can say, oh, that's just Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback, so the whole team quit on him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to see good coaching around Jalen Hurts. And then if the same thing continues then we'll say, yeah, that's Jalen Hurts' problem.
It's not like Jalen Hurts has been playing like this for the last 4 years. Well, not even count 2020 because he was thrown to the fire. But I'm saying it's not like he's been playing like this for the past 3 years. It's like he had a really good year last year. I understand it's a year-to-year league, but I don't believe that he's this bad as everyone thinks he is. And yes, he has had a regressing year, but
right,
a quarterback can't overtake what the coaches are teaching him and put it into his own hands. And when he's following what he needs to follow every week and what the coaches want him to do, like there's only so much limitations he has to what he could do on his own. I don't care if I understand like he audibles sometimes. And then there's some of those things I just don't understand either, because some of these audibles are bad at times. And like there was a couple times this year where they were good at times. But I think that a new head coach that's a play caller or somebody that's going to push him in the right direction. And like I said, it comes down to Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman. It comes down to the front office and where the control factor is and where the truths are told from the beginning to the end. So, and we just got to find that out. So,
yeah. 500 play design's killing us. We got blitzed on third down play, and they play where everyone ran curls. Yeah, it's what I'm saying. It's like the designs are so bad that like I don't know.
They literally had two wide receivers. I forgot what play it was, but it was like two wide receivers ran literally, a couple yards apart.
It was the 3rd and 2 play. They decided to go long.
It was a comeback route.
The comeback route. I don't remember that one. I know there was one 3rd and 2 where they audible. He audibles out of a run, I believe, and he throws deep to Goddard, and Devontae Smith's like a yard from him, and it's like they ran to the exact same spot. It's like crazy. And then if you look at the blitzes, like these guys are running 20 yards downfield. Like they don't have a hot route set up for Hurts. They don't run a running back screen or anything like that. They don't do anything to help him. So, he's stuck where he has to make a quicker decision. And look, I think it just hurts him overall. And I think the coaching and the bad coaching causes the regression. I don't think regression is causing bad coaching. I think the bad coaching is causing regression. So you have to, before you can adjust what you have with Hurts, because you just signed to a big contract, you've got to deal with the coaching. Jesus hits David Super Chat. He goes, even my 5-year-old playing Madden knows if the defense splits up the middle, throw the slant or post a few times. We did. Look what happened. Exactly. They don't make no adjustments. Why not give Deuce a chance to be a head coach? He should have gotten the job, Nick, anyways. I mean, that's something that they're going to have to decide. I just don't want any yes men. I don't want any yes men. I want players to come in and coaches come in and know what they want to do.
And even like there's like things that just like we talk about a million different things in this game that hasn't changed like it has the past 6 weeks, and now it's like really the 7 weeks now. And I mean, why are you taking your best pass rusher? And like Hassan Reddick was still in coverage today. I mean, still they're doing that. You take your best guy. I mean, I'm surprised they had 3 sacks today. I really am surprised they did that much, because they really couldn't hit home at all. The soft zone coverage, the bend don't break. It's like, guys are just sitting there off the line, letting guys run past them in open space, catching free yards. I mean, I'm just glad. I'm actually really glad it's over. I think by the 3rd quarter, I was so done. I was just like, right. I can't watch this game anymore. I can't even watch it.
I wanted it to end last week. I wanted it to end last week in that Giants game. Just, Philly 0024 says Jim Harbaugh. I'll tell you this. If the Eagles are willing to hire a coach that has been a coach before, I want Harbaugh. If they have to go a brand new coach, I'm leaning towards the offensive coordinator of Houston. That kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see. The linebackers They need all new
Yeah,
linebackers.
there's nobody. There's nobody. And the
No,
Kobe Dean, I don't care how much talent that everyone thinks he has now. Like, the guy's availability is the biggest problem that he has right now. Like, I don't care what he did in the past. Like, to be out.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Let's get it done.
And look, dude, like, do I don't know, because it really depends on, do they need a number one corner? Do they need to get another edge rusher this year? Do they need to get a linebacker? They can't go one year.
They need at least 2 linebackers. They need at least 1 corner. They definitely need another edge rusher. Without question.
I wouldn't mind drafting another running back, like, in the late rounds, to be honest, as a rotational. I don't know, something for the future. I don't know.
I don't know what's going to be available at 22, but maybe you take something like a cornerback with the first pick, 2 number 2 picks. I would go 2 linebackers, 3rd, 4th round, whatever. I'd go running back. Like, they got a lot of work to do. Jesus hit David Super Chat goes, we need to find a way to get rid of Trashberry. He's got to go. He's got to go. Kirk Johnson, stop defending Hurts. Good Lord. Lord is good, but I don't know what that means. Stop defending Hurts. It's so easy to just say, well, it's Jalen Hurts and he's the problem, and that's all the problem. Like, Jalen Hurts wasn't the problem with the defense for the last 5 weeks.
How
Jalen Hurts isn't calling the plays. I mean, he's audibling some, sure, but I think that just blaming Jalen Hurts is just easy. Okay, there are issues with Jalen Hurts that he's got to improve and got to get back on track of. But the problem is he needs the right coaches and stuff to help do that. And the first issue we have, more than anything right now, is you have a whole entire team that doesn't want to play with its coaches. So I think that worrying about whether Jalen Hurts is only blame or not is ridiculous at this point.
How you can't skip past the coaches and blame Jalen Hurts 100%. I hate people. I had a lot of people saying that in the stream tonight, and it's ridiculous to skip everything around and just go right at the quarterback that is being told what to do every single week, and if he's even being told what to do every week. There's
a time to blame the quarterback. There's going to be a time, when you get some competent coaches, a competent system, and then you start seeing things happening, then I can blame it. But what the thing, it's like this with the Jordan Davis situation. Like, I don't know how I can blame these players when these coaches aren't coaching them. I don't feel like these coaches are developing these guys. They're not developing these. How could they develop these players when they come out with system and plays that are so bad and horrendous? They're not developing the talent they have. So to me, Jalen Hurts is the least of my worries right now. It's just.
I want to read this. This is from Jeff McLean. This was like literally tonight. Okay. Or this is from this morning. No, actually, this is from this morning. Okay. So the report says there's a belief from some key members of the Eagles organization that a change in Jalen Hurts' demeanor could help the team more in times of distress. A team source tells Jeff McLean. If he can open himself up a little more, improve his body language, and take more ownership, even when he's not at fault, it could help the team in times of distress.
There may be some truth to that, in that, he's got to be a certain way. That's fine. But why is that coming out now? See, that I always think about, like, why would that be released now at the same time you had the story the week that you had the stuff with Jordan Davis? Like, to me, that's the coaches releasing stuff to go and put the blame on the players instead of the other way around. That's somebody putting blame on the players. And I'm not saying that there's not truth to it. I do think at times watching Jalen Hurts sit on the bench, not talking to anybody, whatever, it doesn't look good. But, why did it come out now? That's what I want to know. Josh Siegel, David Super Chat, he goes, hey, 500, what do you think about the Kool-Aid McKinstry Aside from the goofy name, he was a shutdown corner at Alabama. If he's at the 20, what are we picking? 22?
Yeah, between
I'm all
that.
for it. Listen, I'm all for a good corner. I think we need a young corner that is going to come up in through the team, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Bullen says, sounds like coaching staff throwing players. That's what it sounds like to me. Because that same week we had the stuff with Jordan Davis come out. Like, why is the stuff about him being overweight getting fined why is that coming out now? And to me, that's coaches trying to get the blame and change the narrative out there. So I think there are people worried about their jobs. Jesus hit, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, Hurts forced passes due to bad play calls this year. I think so. And I think when your offense struggles the way it does and your stuff, players also try to force plays and try to play hero ball. Like, those things happen. I think there are things that happen with Jalen Hurts and other players on this team that were more coaching than anything else.
Well, how fair is it when there's like a cover like zero blitz that's coming at you every 2 seconds of every play, and Hurts has to make a quick decision, which leads to a turnover because some of these route combinations are taking way too long to develop on certain downs. Where do like, why is the play call this if on third down that this team is going to literally blitz everybody at you, and when you're not going to have any time, which is why he rolls out most of the time and knows he can throw the ball off his back foot in that situation, because you're not going to hit anybody accurately, so he's better off rolling to his right and just see who's open or just throwing it out of bounds. Like, I feel like it's a mixture of both. It's Hurts is playing bad because of the coaching staff, but Hurts is hurting himself in a lot of ways because there's no adjustments to the play.
And I look at it, the reason why I agree with that, and I think you can see evidence of that, because if you look at the other players on this team, other players like, why can't Kevin Byard is how long's he been in the league? What, 3-time Pro Bowler? He can't tackle. These guys all look horrible because they're one, being put in bad positions, and two, this team checked out. And I just think it's hard to really make any judgments until you clear out the coaching and all that stuff, in my opinion. CW Gearhead, David Super Chat goes, Jordan Mailata even told Nick we want to run the ball, and Sirianni goes and says, "Nah, we're going to pass. We're going to get pass happy." And that was the difference with Doug. 2017, when they went to Doug, he started to listen. And I think that was the first. I think that's why these players tapped out and checked out.
Doug had a players council. Doug had a leader players council where certain players, and obviously the leadership council, will come up to him with any issues, and it was a collaborative effort. I don't see that with this coaching staff. I don't see that. I haven't seen a report this year that said that a bunch of players went up to Nick to talk about, and Nick sat there for 20, 25 minutes to talk about strategy and how to make things better with the with Doug was welcoming to that shit, and I don't think Nick has been all year.
No, he hasn't. I don't think so. Antonio says, I have a real question. Did the offensive coaching staff not know Todd Bowles was going to blitz the hell out of Hurts? If they did know that, why wasn't there anything combat it? Isn't it crazy? I'll go one step further. Not only did they know Todd Bowles was going to blitz and did nothing about it, they also knew Wink Martindale was going to blitz, because he blitzed Hurts 83 times the first time, 80% of the time the first time the Giants played us. And Jonathan Gannon blitzed. And all those guys blitzed, and they knew it, and they didn't do anything about it. That's bad coaching, man. Bad coaching. Freddie Lemons, every super check goes, need to draft a wide receiver to help me, AJ Quez out, please. Yeah, I think you need a third wide receiver. I think you need a third wide receiver.
Oh, yeah. What happened to Quez with the I'll answer the call bullshit this week?
Answer the call. Answer the call.
Dude, did you see the statistic of how many times the Eagles ran screen passes this year?
Is it the thing going around the internet? I saw something, and I don't know if this is true. I don't think it's true, but I think it's a joke. But it was kind of funny, though. Let me pull it up. Let me see. Here you go. This one?
Yeah. Is that real?
I don't think that's real. 690 screen passes is a lot.
I don't know.
It makes a great point though, you know.
Yeah.
Mark Holmes and the Turtle and Denver Super Chat goes, I was watching draft prospect vids by the half. Laugh out loud. I know, right? It's gonna be an interesting week. It really is. It really is. Anyways, guys, I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say. It just I want to see what kind of unfolds at this point, Joey. I want to see what unfolds.
Yeah, we're gonna get ready for. I mean, look, they're first round exits, and they have a lot of time on their hands now to get things done. They got a good amount of time now to really think things through and get things done. I think something is going to happen this week. I think we're gonna get Howie Roseman's press conference. We're gonna see. I mean, he's not going to tell us anything, obviously, because he keeps everything PR rated. But at least we'll get some information on maybe certain things. I don't know, but we'll get that interview. We'll probably get that end of the year press conference in a couple of days.
The tank says you guys don't want Nick to come back.
No,
I do not want Nick to come back.
I'm done.
I don't. I don't think. I'm afraid he's lost a team, and I don't know that he can get it back. So I don't. I want him gone. But we'll see. But guys, let me thank you guys for joining us. That's about it for tonight. It's getting late. It's almost 1:30 in the morning where you guys are, and I know my wife wants to get ready for bed soon too. So, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the great season. Shakedown continues. We keep it up. We don't take our little break until like June, July, somewhere around there. So. We'll be back every week, and we'll be back this week, and we'll see what happens, and should be very, very interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we love yous. We thank yous, and we out of here. Peace.
Peace out.
Play. We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding.
You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What you doing?
running from
What you doing?
To get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Kellen Moore, he's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more
We
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us.
Away, but, this is just
The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed
it
us.
is, man.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
You
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us.